Cancers, happy January, happy 2026. The energies are kicking. Are you ready for them? Let's have an aligned astro chat about it. Hello all, Stacy the Blackfeather Intuitive, and welcome to your Transformational Tarot for January of 2026, Cancers. I apologize for the lighting. This is my only day to record, and this is just the lighting that I get in my recording room. So until I'm able to switch things up, please bear with me. So we are coming into some really cool energy in 2026, and January is going to start us off right. For our overarching theme, we are pulling cards from the Healing Spirits Oracle from Gordon Smith. And then the card deck that spoke to me for you guys today is the Slow Tarot from Lacey Bryant. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so we are going to pull an overarching theme for you guys today. And I just want to say I'm so excited that after 11 years of being on YouTube, I now am able to provide memberships. So if you want to go deeper and keep the conversation going, I encourage you to click on the join button and check out. I've got 3 different options there for a deeper dive membership. Would love to be able to connect with you guys in this way. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, Cancers. You got Ask Your Spirit Guide. So it's interesting because Gemini's got this card for you as well, or got this card as well. So this is a month I feel where Cancer, you're really going to be evaluating what your level of connection is between self and source. And Ask Your Spirit Guide, I feel, is coming through because there are going to be some challenges for you this month. And I feel the challenges for you are going to be around relationship energy. And your spirit guides are wanting you to reach out to them when you're having these problems, because I feel like your spirit guides have the answers. They want to be able to support you in deeper ways. And sometimes you get used to having to do a lot of things on your own, or it's just easier if I, handle this myself. If I come up with the solution myself. And your guides are saying maybe that's true with the human population, but it's not true with us. So this is a reminder that you are surrounded in love and support. And don't forget that you have access to that love and support. Ask for it. Ask and you will receive. Interesting. Okay, so just turning my cheat sheet around here. This is you in your present moment. Where are you right now in your transformational journey? What part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? Oh, yes, the Death card. So there's a lot of shift, a lot of change that's been occurring for you. And I feel like death of something is a celebration for you at this point. I'm seeing that a lot of you, for like at the end of 2025, very much was a celebration for you. I feel like a lot of you, now this is a general reading, so take what works for you, leave the rest behind. But a lot of you came to the conclusion towards the end of December that you were like done with something. I'm not moving forward in this way. I'm not doing this, that, or the other thing. Instead, I'm choosing to take a new path. And I feel like death is coming up because you are still in the throes of, this is the Phoenix burning card. You're still in the throes of the Phoenix burning. What you've intentionally chosen to shift up, or what has been shifting on your behalf, is still smoldering. There are still things that are needing to be wrapped up, loose ends being tied up. You still are in many ways walking through the rubble of what is transpiring. You're still getting adjusted and adapted to this new version, right? But I don't feel sadness with this. I feel almost a sense of relief. And, what part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? I would say that this Death card energy is coming up for you because you're rising. You're rising into a new version of self. You got so sick and tired of what was happening before, what was coming before, what was, on the hamster wheel merry-go-round, that this is a relief to be able to say, okay, I no longer have to do this or that or the other thing. Now I'm able to kind of sit and ponder what's next. And I do feel that it's important for you guys to sit and ponder this month what you would like to see happen, what you want to see come next. Now, for some of you, there may be some grief that is involved in what is, sort of dying away, what is being burned away. And for those of you who are in grief, I would say, sit in that. Give yourself the space and the time and the compassion to be able to express that, to process it, to go through it. My encouragement to you would be, don't wallow in it. Feel what you feel and do your best to continue on, right? Keep on keeping on as best you can, without sacrificing self-care. Just want to put that out there. Because this death, I feel, is really happening on your behalf, and it will not be very long before you get on the other side of this and you see, this was the best thing. This has actually helped me. This has actually released me from something that I didn't even know was chaining me, limiting me, holding me back. So feeling a lot of life that is going to come as a result of this particular death, but you are rising. And so give yourself permission to rise, and to rise with honor, and to rise with confidence. The catalyst, what's fueling or hindering your transformation? Is this resistance or rocket fuel? Interesting. Queen of Cups. So, this is the Scorpio card. So it's kind of like a sister card to you as a water sign, Cancer. I'm feeling here like some of you have maybe felt a little out of control with your feelings and emotions, a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit like you can't stop feeling a certain thing, whether it's rage or sadness or guilt. Oddly specific things for me to say. I feel like someone needs to hear them. And Queen of Cups is coming through to say, time to heal from that now. Time to graduate. Time to see it all as, rather than judging it, seeing it as an experience that the soul has had, and what has the soul learned from that experience? What has your heart learned from that experience? It's time to, I would say for some of you, it's time to stop beating yourselves up. It's time to stop ruminating or reliving the experience, and it's time to go within. Ask your spirit guide. Ask your spirit guide to release it from you. Ask your spirit guide for how you can release it from yourself. Ask your spirit guide the why. But this is about putting some structure and order around your emotional state and understanding that you haven't lost control. You're not in a space where you're tumbling and fumbling and you're never going to, come up again. You're not the avalanche. Sometimes it feels that way, but that's not really actually what's transpiring. And having compassion for yourself is the key. Absolutely the key. So regaining your composure, regaining your sense of control, regaining your core. Lots of C words, regaining your core. Deep root. What deep belief, wound, or soul contract is driving this transformation under the surface? Interesting. Second queen in a row. So someone has cut you off and cut you out. And this was deeply hurtful to you. For some of you, you may have cut someone off and it was deeply hurtful to them, but it's also deeply hurtful to you. And maybe this is the time right now where you're actually starting to process that or deal with it, or have had certain circumstances in your life that are bringing awareness to that, bringing you to that space again, back to that memory, back to that experience. And it's showing up in your life for your own awareness. I don't even know that it's necessarily something you need to heal from. For some of you, that might be the case, but I feel less about that being the message and more about it being about your awareness. If we don't know that something's broken, we don't, how do we know to fix it? But once we are aware that something is not working, now we have awareness of it. Now we can take steps to fix it. So you don't know what you don't know until you know it. And when you know better, you do better. I'm also feeling here when we're talking about the deep root, this Queen of Swords energy, she is very much about boundaries. She's thoughtful, obviously a deep thinker, a solid planner. She thinks things through 40 times before she goes ahead and says, okay, yes, this is what we're going to do. But once she makes that determination, that's what she sticks with. And I'm feeling here like, not to say you guys are wishy-washy, don't shoot the messenger. This is just how it's coming through. But this is also coming through because it's pointing out areas in your life where you've struggled to hold boundaries or to make certain decisions for yourself because of this previous wound, this previous experience with this person. And now that there's awareness, it no longer takes over your life. It no longer informs the choices that you're making. And I feel like this is how you're putting some order. You're bringing some order to chaos. It's going to be a very enlightening experience for you, especially at the beginning of January, when this starts to come to light, because it's going to be a little surprising to you. You're going to think, I dealt with that a long time ago. I don't know why it's coming up again. Or you're going to think, oh my God, I never connected the dots on that. I don't know why it's so obvious to me now, but I never saw it in that way before as having affected me in the ways that it's affected me. So, again, it's not about healing the wound. Yes, there can be some healing, but it's more about the awareness. And then what do you do with the awareness? And that's what I feel this sort of soul contract is it's bringing awareness to what's been informing you, subconsciously or otherwise. What's dying away? What part of you is falling away at this time? What role, pattern, or identity has run its course? Interesting. 2 of Wands. Indecision. So this is usually a direction, choosing a path. And I touched on this here in the Queen of Swords. Like, there's some wishy-washy that's been going on. And when you become aware of the cause of it, you're able then to say, oh, okay, I don't need to be wishy-washy anymore. This is the choice that I'm making. And I can be confident in making that choice. And I can be so confident that I'm actually involving my soul energy. I'm getting on track. I'm choosing a path that is more directly connected to my soul space than to anything else. The 2 is interesting as well. I feel like for some of you, there is a very significant relationship in your life that is coming up. I feel that I'm going to be speaking on here that may be active in your life, but there are components of the deep past that are at play here. Almost like we could call it, some karmic contract, soul contract energies, but also why are you still connected to this person? What does this person bring into your life? Does this person add to your life? And if they add to your life, is it positive or negative? Is this person somebody that you can see yourself growing and evolving with? This can be a romantic partnership or this can be other, but I want to say whatever this dynamic is, it's one that is deep in your life or common in your life or very prevalent and prominent in your life. You're going to be evaluating this relationship and paying attention to the measurement of maybe reciprocity, the measurement of what each of you is getting out of it with one another. Also, this isn't desert. These are topographical maps, but I'm feeling the energy of desert here. And I want to say, whatever this relationship is, I feel that it's gone dry. You're in the desert. You're kind of stuck in the desert. There isn't a whole lot of I want to say, like you as a water sign, there isn't a whole lot of water to nourish you. You're bringing the nourishment, but what you're getting back is a mouthful of sand. So, and you might be the person who's giving the mouthful of sand as well. We all play our parts. But I feel like this is really, when we talk about what's dying away, I feel like this is what's coming to light for you, because you're going to make a determination as to what kind of prominence it needs to have in your life moving forward. How important is it really to your direction and where you're headed? This is your highest phoenix potential. What can rise from these ashes? What is your soul calling you toward? This is your breakthrough energy. Ooh, upside down, sorry. Beautiful. You got the Ace of Wands. Interesting. So we're getting some good wand energy here for you. So Ace of Wands is that inspired action. And I feel like when you kind of bring this awareness into your space and you see where things have been out of balance, out of whack, where you've been making decisions that maybe are not for your highest and best, now you're really feeling motivated to start fresh and to start new. And yes, you're getting rid of that relationship. You might not be getting rid of that person. You might be getting rid of the form that relationship takes in your life. So I just want to put that out there as well. But there's definitely going to be a shift in what that looks like. And you're going to be very definitive. You're going to be very decisive about what direction you want to take and holding firm to the boundary of that. And you're going to be inspired to do so because you're seeing the dawn of a new day. You're seeing the potential of what else can come, what else can be. And you're seeing that this in its form will never become this. And you have a choice. It's going to be very evident that this is about you and the choices that you make, what you're feeling afraid to do versus what you're also feeling called to do or compelled to do. I feel like this is really important. Aces are a nothing burger unless we actually apply wisdom, unless we actually say, yes, I want to explore this path. Inspiration feels amazing, but if you don't do anything with it, it just evaporates. It moves, it changes form, it moves on. It inspires somebody else who will say yes to it. So I want to say yes. Be the person that receives it and does something with it. Don't sit back on your laurels. Don't allow fear to stop you from really embracing and embodying a new adventure. You might not understand entirely. In fact, I don't think you're going to understand entirely what all of this is about. You're not even necessarily going to know what step to take. I want to say to you, just say yes to it and then ask your spirit guides to show you what the next step is. Say yes. And everything else will start to make sense. Ooh, I got chills, guys. I got chills. Okay, next step. What's emerging just around the corner? What energy or experience is coming in to support your next phase? Oh my God, another wand. So 6 of Wands. This is a card of victory. Celebration. So I feel like it may be a challenge for you to release some of this stuff. It may be a challenge for you to set some of these boundaries. Then again, it may not. You may come to the conclusion and be like, oh, that was the missing piece. Now that I understand that, I have no problems stepping in and do what I need to do, and I'm not looking back. Hats off to you if that's you. That's great. A lot of you, that's not going to be you. There's going to be some trepidation. There's going to be some back and forth with this. But ultimately, I feel like you want to hang on to this and this. I say yes, and this is going to be my outcome. And I just said this in another reading. I can't remember if it was Aries or Taurus. So you may want to check out one of those videos as well, because I feel that there might be a message in there for you. But I feel like it's if you knew that your success was assured, how would that inform your next actions? If you say yes to this, even though you don't know how it's all going to play out, but you know that it's actually going to be super wildly successful on the other side of it, how would that inform you? Would you feel fearful? Would you say no to the opportunity? Would you say yes, but? Would you take it in small steps? Would you just boulder on through? Would you invest in yourself? Would you share the message with others? How does this inform your next steps? I feel like when we talk about this, like this is your breakthrough energy. And so then this is what comes just around the corner to support that breakthrough energy. You're being told whatever you put in place in this month, whatever you put in place is going to grow and expand and multiply and be successful. So be very mindful of what you are manifesting, what you are putting out into the universe. And remember, you are asking your spirit guides. You are telling them, you're giving your order to the universe. I want my steak medium rare. I want my horseradish sauce extra eye-watering. And I want it on a pretty blue plate with pink polka dots, right? And I want it to be warm and perfect. And I want the potatoes to be, smashed and roasted with just the perfect amount of garlic, right? Like you're putting in the order. And I feel like that's what this is about. What's emerging is you being given the opportunity to put in your order. So start thinking about what that order looks like right now. Get it right, very detailed, right down to, the flavors and the smells and the shapes and the colors. Be very detailed. Because again, if you knew that your success was assured, how would that inform your choices? That's what this is all about. Your success is emerging right around the corner. So how are you going to say yes to it? You in this process, how are you navigating this transformation? What role are you playing? Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? Oh, interesting. You got the Lover's card. So feeling here like you are looking to others to reflect back to you and validate to you some of the choices that you're making. Yes, this is going to be the right thing. If I make this choice, I'm not going to be alone, right? If I make this choice, I'm going to feel really good about things on the other side, right? If I, lean into this, you're still going to love me, right? And I want to say it's very human to want that level of validation. But I also want to say it's very codependent to seek out that level of validation. And I think I was talking about codependency versus interdependency. I'm hoping that was you. If it wasn't, I feel like maybe that was the reading before, but I'm feeling that it is definitely tying in with this here. So that's part of the reason why, you're kind of struggling here a little bit, because you're not fully confident in what I'm seeing and feeling and what I'm feeling called to lean into for myself. I don't know if it's really the right thing. Are you still going to be with me if I make this choice? And I want to say, maybe see this instead as the blending of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Also, this is your relationship to yourself and source, to guide, to your angels and guides, rather than to looking for validation from someone in the body, right? Someone in the physical. Yes, it can be from someone in the physical as well, but wouldn't it feel so much more impactful and meaningful if you got it from your guides? I mean, like right to the horse's mouth, right? So pay attention to why you're seeking out that level of validation and support, because there may be some codependency attached to it. And that codependency is going to hinder or taint the victory on the other side, taint the outcome. Just be aware of it. This isn't a dun dun dun. Oh my God, if you seek validation, everything's going to go to shit. No, it's not that at all. But I will say to you, awareness is your message, right? Awareness is the key. So the Lover's card is coming through to inform you and to make you aware of some of these things that are playing, within you, that are affecting how you're thinking and feeling about this choice, these choices moving forward. Circles of support. Who or what is influencing your transformation right now? And is it positive or negative? Okay, I'm just going to put a a crystal on that just because of nudity and YouTube. But we have temptation, and temptation is the devil card. So this is kind of interesting. So actually, okay, the devil card is associated with Capricorn. And I feel like there's a Capricorn friend or a person who has a lot of Capricorn in their chart that is in your circles of support. And I feel like it's that individual that can really help you through some of this, what you are, it's not seeds that you're planting in January as much as the choices that you're making and how you're moving forward with those choices in January. That is important. And so I'm really feeling, Cancers, like you want to speak to, I would say, at minimum, an earth sign. But best case scenario is speaking to someone in your circle of support that is a Capricorn or has a lot of Capricorn influence in their chart. If you don't know if someone is a Capricorn or not, I would say what you want to do is you want to look for that individual in your life that really knows and understands how to build things. They're really good at building relationships. They're really good at building their career path, building a foundation to be able to support making money. Building things, maybe even like actually like a contractor, building physical structures. I feel like there's something about a Capricorn's energy that gives you like the secret sauce, gives you the added ingredient that takes the recipe that you're creating from good to great. So lean in. It's an oddly specific message for you guys, but lean into Capricornian energy when you're looking for support around whatever this particular issue is. Wow, oddly specific. Also, when we're talking about that, I almost said entertainment. Where did that come from? Temptation. That's what I'm trying to spit out here. Also, when we are looking at the temptation word, I feel like it's important for you to not be tempted to go backwards, to go back into an old pattern or habit, because there will be temptation to do it because it's going to feel comfortable. It's going to feel easy. Easy doesn't necessarily make it healthy. Easy doesn't necessarily make it where you want to be or the thing that you want to work towards. It just makes it easy. And I feel like that's what you're trying to break out of is I don't need easy so much right now anymore as I just need movement forward. I need to find my flow. I need to get back into the flow of my own patterning, my own life, my own choices. Interesting. Hopes and fears. What are you dreaming of becoming and what scares you about actually doing it? Love it. The High Priestess. You're afraid to become emotionally detached. That's really interesting. I feel like this awareness has caused you or will be causing you in January deep awareness of perhaps how much you've either given away your power in a situation or how much a dynamic has had a lot of manipulation as a part of the structure of it. And as a result of that, and in order for you to feel or in order for you to kind of find your way to processing through it, to understanding it and make sense of it in your life, I feel that there's a certain level of emotional detachment that you're taking. And the emotional detachment feels so good that you're kind of leaning into that in other areas of your life. And you're noticing that you're pulling back in a lot of areas. But I want to say to you, we often contract before we expand. And sometimes we have to go to one extreme or the other in order to recognize where our own boundaries lie, right? Boundaries. This is where my new boundaries are. And now I can be flexible and live in the gray area of where these boundaries are, because I understand my limits. I understand my comfort zone and my guidelines for myself. And when I understand that for myself, I can clearly communicate that to others. So I feel like this high priestess is coming up because you're afraid that you're going to continue to just feel less and less emotionally connected to other people. But I want to say to you, that's not what's happening here. It may happen for a particular window of time, but then you will expand out again. And you'll be, I want to say, even better for it, because you'll come to a realization of where you do need a little bit of emotional attachment with a particular individual, here, there, or everywhere. And that will help you, rather than spreading yourself so thin and just, kind of blanket statement giving everybody sort of access to all of you. Now it's going to be the people who are worthy and deserving of it. Right. So that's really interesting. I really feel that fear that you have, perhaps it served you well at another time and space, but it's not actually going to serve you well here. And I feel like that's really important to recognize and to understand about that. It's important to not shut your heart down, but also to allow what naturally is happening to happen, because you're going to see things in people well before you need to overinvest. And that is something that is happening moving forward. And if you stay on course in January, who will you be on the other side of this journey? What is the result of embracing the full death and rebirth cycle? Oh, Ace of Swords, new thought, a potential for a new direction in the way that you communicate with others and in the way that you receive communication from others. More reciprocity in this, more truth, not that manipulation stuff, more truth, clear cut communication. And this is a card of victory. And I just want to say, you had the Six of Wands, and this card is coming out to, I want to say, emphasize and provide validation. And we had the Lover's card to provide validation that you are on the path to victory. And it's going to be a brand new victory, and it's going to feel incredible because it's about a new you. You're unleashing yourself, you're unlocking yourself, you're back in the flow, and you're feeling more motivated as a result. OMG. Okay, Cancers. So that is your January 2026 Transformational Tarot for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, your Venus and Mars. And for those who you have a Cancer in your life that you love, this is also a great reading to help keep you connected and informed. I still have some Your Year in Preview 2026 and Your Year in Transformation 2026 spots available only until January 31st. If you want to get a sneak peek into what is coming up for you for this year, I highly recommend booking a session. The links are in the description below. It's just super powerful. I've been doing them for so many years. People absolutely love this service. They get really excited about it. And I would love to be of service in that way for you guys as well. Until we see each other for another episode of Transformational Tarot or Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life, I say sending so much love and support. We'll see you on the flip side, and transform well.